Hey everyone, and welcome back to Be Kind Fare. Today, we're diving into a topic that many well-intentioned people, even lifelong vegetarians, often overlook. It's a conversation that sits at the intersection of our daily habits and a hidden reality. We're going to talk about the dairy industry and uncover a secret that is intentionally kept out of sight, a direct and unbreakable link that ties a simple glass of milk to a much darker cycle. Many of us choose vegetarianism out of a deep sense of compassion. We wouldn't dream of harming an animal, and so we abstain from meat. But what if I told you that the dairy products sitting in your fridge are part of a system that is just as harsh, and in many ways, inseparable from the meat industry itself? This isn't about judgment, it's about awareness. It's about understanding the full story behind the food we consume, so we can make choices that are truly aligned with our values of kindness and fairness. The journey of milk begins not in a grassy meadow of frolicking cows, but with a highly controlled and invasive procedure. To produce milk, a cow, like any mammal, must first give birth. The dairy industry doesn't leave this to chance or nature. Cows are subjected to a cycle of forced and repeated artificial insemination. This is a clinical and often stressful process designed for one purpose only: to make them pregnant so their bodies will start producing milk. This cycle begins when they are very young, often just over a year old, and it is repeated relentlessly throughout their lives. Once a cow gives birth, her maternal instincts are incredibly strong, just like any mother's. She wants to nurture, clean, and feed her newborn calf. But in the dairy system, this natural bond is seen as an inconvenience, a disruption to the primary goal of collecting her milk for human consumption. So, within hours, sometimes even minutes of birth, her baby is taken away from her. The separation is traumatic for both mother and calf. Mother cows have been documented crying, bellowing, and searching for their lost babies for days, an expression of profound grief and confusion. This is the first hidden cost of that carton of milk. Now, we have to ask the critical question: what happens to the calves? Their fate is entirely determined by their gender, and this is where the dairy industry's most guarded secret lies. If the calf is female, she is typically isolated and fed a milk replacer. Her destiny is already written. She will be raised to replace her own mother in the production line, destined for the same cycle of forced pregnancy, birth, and loss, over and over again. But what if the calf is male? To the dairy industry, a male calf is a surplus byproduct, an unwanted consequence of the need to keep the female cows lactating. He cannot produce milk, and he is not the right breed for the highly specialized beef industry. So, he is seen as having little to no economic value to the dairy farmer. This is the stark reality that is so often hidden from public view. The journey for these male calves is often short and filled with distress. Some are simply disposed of shortly after birth, considered nothing more than waste. Others are sold for very small sums of money, sometimes to be raised for low-grade beef. A significant portion, however, are funneled into a particularly grim industry, the veal industry. The direct connection between dairy and veal is something the industry does not advertise. The demand for veal is largely supplied by the unwanted male calves from dairy farms. These young animals are often confined to small crates or pens, deliberately kept anemic and their muscles underdeveloped to produce the pale, tender meat that consumers of veal desire. Their entire, brief existence is one of deprivation and suffering, a direct result of the public's demand for milk, cheese, and yogurt. This means that every time we purchase dairy products, we are financially supporting a system that not only separates mothers from their babies but also creates and supplies the veal industry. For vegetarians who have made a conscious choice to not eat meat, this can be a deeply unsettling realization. The system is a cycle, not a single event. The mother cow, after her calf is taken, is milked intensively for about 10 months. Her body is pushed to produce yields of milk far beyond what is natural, often leading to painful infections like mastitis and other health problems. After her milk production naturally declines, she is not allowed to retire in a peaceful pasture. Instead, the process begins again. She is artificially inseminated once more to start another cycle of pregnancy and loss. This relentless loop continues for about 4 to 5 years. A cow's natural lifespan can be over 20 years, but in the dairy industry, her body is completely exhausted by this constant, high-stress production schedule. When her milk yield finally drops to a point where she is no longer considered profitable, she is deemed spent. At this young age, she is sent to the same slaughterhouse as cows raised for beef, and her body is processed into ground beef and other low-grade meat products. So, the mother cow's life also ends in the meat industry. This is the ultimate, and perhaps most tragic, link in the chain. The dairy industry is not a parallel system to the meat industry, it is a preparatory one. It functions as both the beginning and the end of the line. This information can be hard to hear, and it's okay to feel upset or conflicted. It challenges a deeply ingrained belief that dairy is a harmless, wholesome product from happy cows. The marketing we see, with images of sunny farms and smiling animals, is a carefully constructed fiction designed to obscure this reality. It sells a story, not the truth. The truth is that the dairy industry and the meat industry are two sides of the same coin. One cannot exist in its current form without the other. This isn't an accident, it's a fundamental part of the business model. So what can we do? The first step is awareness, and by watching this, you've already taken it. The next step is to let this knowledge inform our choices. The good news is that we live in a time of incredible innovation and abundance. There are so many delicious, nutritious, and kind alternatives to dairy products available today. From oat and almond milk to soy, cashew, and coconut milk, the options for what to put in your coffee or cereal are vast. There are also incredible plant-based cheeses, yogurts, ice creams, and butters that are not just substitutes, but genuinely fantastic foods in their own right. Exploring these alternatives can be an exciting culinary adventure, not a sacrifice. You might just find new favorite foods that are not only better for your health and the planet, but that also align with the compassion that led you to vegetarianism in the first place. Thank you so much for joining me today and for being open to this important conversation. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Be Kind Fare for more content that explores how we can live more compassionate lives. Let's continue to learn and grow together. See you in the next video.